Have you ever heard of totems? Is human design something you've ever pondered about? Has the idea of separating money as an entity from what we work as ever popped into your thoughts? If not, hold on to your hats because you're in for a treat. I'm so excited to share the second half of the chat I recorded last week with Christian Pinachos. If you didn't catch last week's episode, I highly recommend you check it out. Christian told us all about her story and how she got where she is now, her awakening journey, along with finding life clues and pieces to the puzzle. She told us about her highs and lows and how she discovered her best favorite thing through her hardest of moments. What I loved about last week's episode with Christian was her reflection on imagine how the world would look like, or imagine what the world would look like if we honored what we really wanted in life. Imagine all of us decided to work in our true life's calling, or what we absolutely love, and we fulfilled our deepest heart's desires. Imagine we addressed that fear that stops us from doing what we really want and wish for deep down in our hearts and souls. How would the world be? How much happier would people be? And how impactful would that be to the collective energy in the whole world? I know it sounds literally impossible, but I really do feel this is the way we're going. And the more we focus on what we love doing, whether it's for work or even outside work, some people need to earn a living and they don't have a choice, or maybe they feel like they don't have a choice, and that's absolutely fine. If you're one of those, you're doing a really good job, and I have loads of respect for you for sticking at it and trying your best. But imagine we started just a half an hour a day of doing something what we really wanted to do, doing something we really loved. What if we engaged in those dreams we've always wanted? Imagine. I just think it would be revolutionary. And it makes me wonder, sometimes I wonder if extremely wealthy people, you know, those big billionaires at the top, are they even truly happy? I know you're probably laughing, thinking, yeah, of course they're happy, they have everything they wanted and they need. But do you ever wonder if any of them wish they worked in something different? Like, can you imagine the pressure and the stress and the constant just working all day long? And maybe some people don't, all those wealthy people or the people in those big companies in the world, maybe they don't work all day long. But what I'm trying to get at is money isn't the be all and end all, and it doesn't make us deeply content or fulfilled really deep down, unless we're doing something fulfilling with it. Like we could set up a charity and change something in the world that could be fulfilling through money. There are lots of things we can do with money that can lead us on the path of fulfillment. But yes, it's a question that I've been wondering. I wonder how the world would be if we all just did what we loved. What's your wish? What dream do you have? Is there anything you'd absolutely and utterly love to start doing? Please let me know in the show's comments, or please get in touch on my website or Instagram. In this second part of the two-part series with Christian and I chat about totems, human design, and how valuable they are in our lives, practically speaking. How we might get stopped in our tracks sometimes, and why we can't move forward when we really, really want to. And she also goes through how to separate money as a separate entity from our business in order to enjoy our life's passion more. I'm so excited for you to listen. I'll see you soon.
Human design, yeah. So there are, each type has a way they're meant to engage with the world.
Yeah.
So the two generator types are meant to respond to their environment, as in something isn't presented in front of them, and they have to tune in to their insides. I love human design as an embodiment modality. Like I see okay, before we get to that question, I do want to say this. A lot of people in human design that are readers, they will tell you they're very valuable in validating who you are. They're going to say a lot of things in readings to tell you, this is who you are, this is how you operate, and it will feel like this deep, resonant, validating feeling, and it's very beautiful. I approach human design from the utility, the action part. How do I use this in a practical way? And so there's the people that respond. It's like it speaks to action. Like when people engage in human design first, they're very like into the knowledge of it. And my zone of genius in how I operate is not the knowledge part, because I feel like we knowledge ourselves into oblivion, and the gold in getting closer to our dreams and out of our ways is through action. And so there's a projector, another human design type, and they're there to wait for the invitation. And when you listen to all these types and how they're meant to engage with the external environment, it all sounds like the same thing, but there are nuances to it. But waiting for the invitation, essentially projectors will be doing what they are very good at. There's something that projectors are very good at, whatever they're drawn to, and they have this very leadership energy, but they're not meant to, they're meant to do this thing that they're very good at, display it, and somebody sees them in their beautiful display of whatever that gift is, and then they invite them into this thing. And it doesn't even have to be in service. It could be like in anything. Like you could be at a party, and then you'll get the invitation. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head the other three.
I'm a manifester.
I think you're a manifester. Actually, I think manifestors are the only ones that are meant to take initiative. Like, we live in this capitalistic society where you gotta go ham. You gotta be very full masculine mode, hustle and grind. But a lot of the types will teach you, actually you're meant to take a step back and be present. Manifestors are the ones that are initiators, the only type that are initiators. And they only make up, I think 3-5% of the world's population that are actually manifestors. And even then, manifestors go through seasons. So they have a season of where they have ideas, and then they take action, and they rest. So even then, there is a season of reflection. They're not always reflecting. And then there's reflectors, another type, who are, I think theirs is environment. I can't remember. They have to be in the right environment to understand who they are. They're totally open. They can take in the energy of any person. That includes identity, thoughts, fears. They can take in anything. All of their centers are open.
A complete empath.
So their yes, the complete empath, even physically. whatever that, however that looks like for that person. Like, I don't want a blanket statement, everybody, because like I do notice that they have blanket statements for, say, manifesting generators. They have blanket statements for manifesting generators who have all this energy, and they can go, 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 and then they're meant to keep going and until you're super dead tired and fall asleep. That's like how they're supposed to go about their day. I haven't figured that out for myself. I'm tired all the time, but I'm realizing I do have a friend who's a manifesting generator who is go, go, go all the time. But I am understanding now it's because I've been engaging in activities that don't bring me joy. And joy gives manifesting generators energy. Maybe that's why I'm tired all the time. That's why I need naps all the time. But her day is littered with things that she loves. She's a teacher, she tutors, she does karate, she cooks, she does all the things that she absolutely loves. So, and I'm like, I just look at her, I'm like just exhausted looking at her. But like her day, I was like, that's exhausting. So like part of my path is always also figuring out, and that's why I love this. I'm so excited for going into this year, is because I'm very intentionally, like, remember when I said like I'll try to move forward with my business and then I'll get stopped dead in my tracks. Okay. All right, I hear you, universe. I hear you. And I had a moment last week, and I know I was talking about this with you guys, with the group, but I had a moment where I was led to just sit down in a cafe and I had a lot of things to write down. There was like something, I've been having this energetic lump in my throat that's really bothering me. Mm-hmm. But that day I was like, I'm going to go to the cafe shop. I feel like I have a lot of things to write. And out spilled the grand blueprint plan of my business and what it looks like. I was like, what the hell? Wow. Like in general, but not like all the nitty gritty details. I'm really good at big picture things. Oh. So I was like, okay, it's there. And then it's really interesting what happened in my world after that. Everybody's like, oh, great, you got the plan, now do it. Oh, great, you got the plan, now do it. Like everybody kept saying, awesome, now I can't wait to hear it. Like that's what it translated in my brain. I don't know if that's what they meant. Yeah. And I suddenly felt this pressure, and I was like, okay, no, pressure is not where I'm moving forward this year. We're moving forward with joy. Yes. So I'm like, yes, we're moving forward with joy. And I did operate out of pressure last year of trying to make this happen. And now that I removed the pressure of money, like I really figured that out, that not letting money be, I had to really like, last year was a big, huge relationship with money thing. Mm-hmm. And I really had to separate. I came to the point of finally separating my business from money to remove the pressure of what it wants to be. And I do want to say, businesses are their separate entity. And if you treat it as such, you can do this. You can get into that space where you can think of it that way. It is a separate entity. And I can say that because you can look up the human design of your business. And it wants to be its own energy. I think mine has changed because I did new LLC, changed the LLC, and I got paid. They say your first payment under your new LLC will be the new human design. Like that's the new birth date for your business. Oh. So now I'm like, okay, now I need to look this up. Now I'm thinking about it. Now I can, because before my previous business that I was forcing to make happen was actually a generator. So I want to know has a generator energy. I love human design as a tool for relating to. It's so beautiful for that. Because when you understand, okay, you start with yourself with human design, understanding yourself, and then you come into this world, well, I'm a manifest. This is how I operate. Example, my partner's a projector, infinitely tired all the time, no energy. But I honor him in that place, and it's actually helped my relationship very much to understand that we are not the same. It's actually the type, like the definition of human design is, this is the science of differentiation. This is how we are all different, and that it is okay. So it's so freaking beautiful. I love it. I really lean on to the basics of human design because there's so much goody, juicy words of wisdom in the basics of all things. But I do that with human design because people get lost in all the information of all there's a lot to it. You can learn human design for the rest of your life and still not learn everything. That's how vast it is. And then there's like the separate branch called the gene keys that people are often drawn to. And I feel like it has the energy of astrology. They both have astrological roots, but it has that same, I feel like it has an astrological vibe, but I haven't dove into gene keys. So just FYI, anybody, if you're not into human design, you might be really into gene keys. So how I use human design, it also tells each person, has a clue for alignment. So for manifesting generators, you'll have, for me, how I know I'm in alignment. And we're a hybrid. We're manifestors and generators combined in one type. So our alignment is misalignment is anger. Oh, excuse me. Anger and frustration. And then alignment is peace and satisfaction. And isn't that just like, to me, that is just the coolest thing in the world. Like, what a clue to how we can engage in our world and say, wait a second, I'm very frustrated right now. Maybe there's something to this. And it's not to be scared of anger or frustration. And this is like another part I love about it, is that it teaches us to engage with our emotions from an objective place when we've historically been scared of quote unquote bad emotions. So now it's like, I am frustrated or I am angry. What is this? What about this scenario makes me angry or frustrated? And it's a beautiful tool for like self-awareness. What's flying in front of your face? I know you guys can't see it, but she was like waving something in front of her, like, and I was
little plant flies like circling around my head. I'm like, get away.
And moments like that, I would be like, what were we talking about? What were you thinking? It might be a sign, because animals are signs too.
They are. And I love that too. When animals come into our lives and we see little, what do you call them when they're animal signs? There's a name for it.
Like totem or?
Totems, yes, totems.
Oh, yes. I love that we're even talking about this because I was pulling cards yesterday. I posted them on my Instagram. And I have moments of like cycles. Everybody has cycles, okay? Not unique to women. Men have cycles in whatever that looks like. Everybody's like there's seasonality in things. Like there's a lot of wisdom in nature is what I'm trying to say. But I had this card deck that I love using all the time, and I had a moment where I was like, okay, we're gonna put you away. Like, it's been sitting on my altar for a while and I haven't touched it. But my client yesterday was like, hey, I don't know what to work on today before our session. And she's like, I know you do tarot? And I was like, I don't do tarot. I have different types of cards. I don't have that as an offering, but I do it for fun if I feel like it in client sessions. And yesterday was just happened to be that session, and I did pull cards for her, and I don't interpret them for you. If you understand the theme with me, is that I am not doing it for you. You're going to figure out, and my work actually lends to people understanding their intuition in their bodies, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I did pull cards for myself yesterday, and everything coming together, inner child and the spirit animal card. And it literally, in the description, they talked about totems, and I was just like, and then like when I read the cards, I'm like, what's coming up in my mind? Like when I saw the bear and red spirit animal, the unicorn came up. Which has like been this really fun thing. I'm really fascinated by the unicorn right now because it's come up in my hypnosis, my personal hypnosis. So any modality that I do want to say I've done them all, and there are some I'm really good in guiding others with, like EFT. I do guided EFT with some of my clients if that's their chosen modality. I have this whole slew of modalities that I work with people. Like, I'm like, which one do you want to try today? Or I intuit which one that I feel like would be most beneficial for them in the moment.
Yeah.
But I do notice with EFT for myself that because I'm a person who's not naturally like empathic, like not naturally, like everybody's naturally sensitive, but like, you know how some people are more sensitive than others. I would have previously identified as someone who is stoic. So it's really hard for me to get to that place of tapping on my own. If somebody guided me through it, it would be very easy. And I know people who are empathic who could do tapping on their own because they notice that emotional rise in them and they can just start tapping away.
Yeah.
But I'm really good at like guiding people through a tapping session. So, but otherwise I've done all modalities. Anyways, I'm like all over the place, but that's just me being a manifesting generator. And back to the unicorn. The unicorn has been showing up for me a lot in hypnosis, twice now. And it's become the cover of my podcast art. Like, that's my podcast cover. And it actually lights my insides out. So for generator types, anybody who's listening, it's whatever lights you up in the gut, follow that. And another thing that I found human design valuable, I'm going to segue again, is that I noticed that I don't have a relationship with my gut. Like, I didn't know what that light up gut yes that I'm supposed to follow felt like. So last year also became when I decided, I made this intention for the year last year to follow my intuition or my gut. I had to heal my gut first, so that looked like a lot of different things. I started taking probiotics, paying attention to what I eat, paying attention to how much I eat, paying attention to what bothers my tummy, or really sitting in presence, and really noticing what is that feeling in my stomach. And I love human design. I don't know, there's gold under there, and I'm still working out a program I have a program that wants to come out of me on how to use human design from like an action based rather than a knowledge based thing.
Yeah.
It wants to come through. It's not there yet. It'll come through when it's ready. And that's the thing that I noticed about my journey. I'll be like, okay, there's this idea that wants to come through. I've been wanting to develop a program for human design for quite some time now. But stopped in the tracks. Okay, when you're stopped in your tracks and you're like, you're either shitting on yourself for like, why can't I make this happen? Well, you're not meant to make things happen. Yeah. Only manifestors are meant to do that when they have the energy for it. Yeah. So all of a sudden, when I notice when I'm being stopped in my tracks, in the state of presence in this moment, which is the only real reality that's happening, is the present moment. All of a sudden, time expands. I have more room. There's less pressure. And I'm like, well, this is a moment for pause for that thing that wants to come through, but it's not ready yet to come out of me. What do I do with this time I have in this moment? And I'm at that point where it's, well, I'm gonna go read that book I always wanted to read.
Yeah,
Or
lovely.
I'm gonna go walking like I've been saying I'm gonna do for months, but I'm too activated in trying to in the doing and the hustle and the grind. I've been too focused on that, on the pressure. And once I release the pressure of money, when I realize I actually am financially stable, so I don't have to pressure my business to evolve to what it wants to be on its own, because it's its own separate entity. All of a sudden, I have all this time to do all the things I love.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I'm going to read that book I've been wanting to read. I'm going to go for that walk. I'm going to go watch some anime, because there's nothing wrong with watching cartoons. My inner child, anything your inner child want to do, there's nothing fucking wrong with that, okay?
No,
I'm going
not
to
at
say that.
all. I totally agree with that.
Yes, because like a lot of people are like, oh, you're watching cartoons, you're like 40 years old or whatever age, like that's kid stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? We are kids in grown bodies.
Yeah,
Technically. Nobody taught us how to be adults, how to engage in our emotions from a healthy place.
Yeah.
Nobody taught us, well, I mean, okay, I'm gonna say nobody taught us how to be responsible, but that was my path. I had immigrant parents that didn't know how to function in a more modern society, I suppose. Like they came from a third world country. So, but it's not saying that first world countries are the shit. Like modernity is destroying the world. So maybe there is something like to your cultural past roots. There's a lot of wisdom there, and ancestry came up for me a lot last year. So, which is a cool thing to explore in hypnosis. If anybody ever I did a hypnosis session. Everybody that I've done hypnosis so far this year, or none, never mind. That was myself, but my friend wanted to explore her childhood home, and she got connected with her grandparents as her guides. And that was really beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a really fun hypnosis. I had permission to share this. Actually, I'm gonna use this as actually one of my podcast episodes, because it's a really cool hypnosis. Nice. I have a lot of hypnosis is so much fun. Like
it so is. I love it so much. I could do it all day long.
Yeah, bless Dolores Cannon for creating this modality. Like, this is, like, if she had not taken that risk and just followed herself in the 60s, she did this in a time where that is very taboo. Like, somebody could have easily, like, I don't know, put her in jail, ostracize her, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, and I'm like, how old was she? Must have been in her 50s or something like that. She passed away when she was in 2012, and she was in her 70s, maybe. I don't know. She was an older person engaging in things that were just like outside of the norm.
Yeah.
And look at the beautiful things that come from taking risks and going outside of the norm. Like, what is even normal? What is normal? That doesn't even, I don't believe that. I have this weird thing about neurotypicals and neurodivergence. Like, I don't know that, part of me wonders that if neurotypical is even like real, normal. Is that a patriarchal concept? Like, I don't know. I like my thought, like, it's not something it's like I wouldn't even call it a theory. It's like a thought I like to engage in. And I was like, I don't know that neurotypical is really typical, because I don't think I've ever really met somebody who's typical, I guess.
It really is like a mind-boggling thing.
Right. It confuses me. It's like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like everybody I know is divergent to a degree. So
Yeah. Totally.
I'm right. So
Wow.
yeah.
It's so lovely to talk to you. If people want to find you, where will they go and how can they find you?
Okay. So I have my Instagram and it's CRISPI_nachos. It's a play on my name. I had a lot of fun making that and never changing it. So you can giggle at it once you figure out what Christian Joy Pinachos Nachos is my handle on Instagram. That's where you can reach me. Like so far, I've taken down my platforms and I'm like building it back up, like building them back up again, like how to reach me and stuff. So you're just gonna have to DM me. That's where I am. DM me. We're gonna have like a regular conversation on Instagram with a stranger, and I welcome it. Please, I love talking to people.
And I'll put it in the show notes as well, just so that, people can just copy and paste it in case.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
I hope you enjoyed Christian's wonderful wisdom as much as I did, and her lovely way of seeing the world. She's such an amazing and empowering coach and healer, and I'll definitely leave her contacts in the show notes below. Let me just explain a little bit about human design for those of you who don't know. It's similar to astrology in the sense that you need to know your birth time, your birth date, and location in order to determine your own individual energetic blueprint. And it produces a chart. It's in the shape of a body and has little triangles, and there's lots of things on the chart that looks very complicated, and it is, in my opinion, but you do get a guide of how to find out what the triangles mean and if you have some open areas and closed areas, and I'm not very much an expert, but it's just as each one of us has a physical body with systems we can study and learn about to better understand ourselves, we also have an energetic body with its own structure and operating instructions, might you say. Human design gives us hints and keys to unlock different qualities that we may already know we have, but can confirm to us. And it's also really useful because I find that some people can get frustrated, especially at work, when we're trying to work the way others do. And this is a perfect example. I'm a manifester and I have a ridiculous amount of, how would I say, I don't even know how to say this, drive, and I can do a lot of work, like too much in fact, and I burn myself out a lot, and then I need some rest and time. Whereas other people, like Christian was saying, needs a lot of resting time and reflection time. And yeah, so we all are different, and human design can help you understand if you're an empath, which I discovered I was, and lots of different parts of ourselves that we didn't know. Maybe we did, but it's good to know and have these things confirmed. Human design actually combines astrology, quantum physics, and Kabbalah. It really does provide a roadmap for living in alignment with our true nature. It's like a manual for our lives, and it offers really valuable and wise insights about our own uniqueness and helps us guide us in making decisions that resonate with our authentic selves. So it really helps us be our 100% person, the person that we're supposed to be. I'll also leave some links to help you discover your human design if you haven't already. And I hope you enjoy that discovery because I got very excited about it altogether. And And then Christian talked about totems and how she implements them with her clients sometimes. And they come, I think she was referring to them as card totems, but originally totems were representations of a family or a clan, a tribe, or some sort of individual, and they were associated with spiritual significance, like ancestry or animal spirits. And they can take the form of animals, plants, natural elements, and even celestial bodies. So if you can imagine totem, like a pack of totem cards, could be similar to a pack of tarot, which is what Christian's client was asking. But Christian kind of generally gets guidance from her totem cards. In Native American cultures, and also Australian Aboriginal cultures, African cultures, and specific island communities, totems were used quite a lot in different ancient cultures all around the world. And different cultures used totems differently, with different symbols, and they would call upon their totems for guidance, especially if they were embarking on a journey, or they needed help in making a transition. And all you need to do is, when you do connect with your totem, you can call it like a guide, really, a guide, or even a little angel, whichever you can resonate with more. And basically you can call upon your totem animal, or your totem insect, or whichever, in order to guide you through hard times. They give you guidance and protection and personal empowerment. They give you spiritual insights, healing, balance. And it's lovely because I love the idea of implementing totems into our lives. I haven't got a set of cards yet, but I will get one, because we're bringing back ancient wisdom. Well, I'm sure it's already here, it never went anywhere, but we're bringing those ancient ways of wisdom into our lives, which is honoring them and honoring our ancestors, which is lovely. So I'll also send you a link about totems. Now, I'm not an expert, so you please do your own research. Anything I ever say, if it resonates, that's great. If it doesn't, well, that's no problem at all. And I always recommend doing your own research. And, because you might find something absolutely more expansive or deeper and more resonant. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode this week. I'm very excited about next week's episode, since it's the year of the dragon. That's all I'm going to say. So looking forward to next week, and I'm looking forward to you all lending your ears again next week, because next week's episode is going to be exciting. Take care.